I've spoken from this bima before. I must tell you, when I was looking around this morning, it's a different island. It's probably the same people, but it's different. We use the term Kehila Kedosha. Maybe sometimes it's wishful thinking that every Kehila is Kedosha. It's what we aim for, it's what we want to be. But this morning, it's what we are. And that makes all the difference. Kedoshim Tiyu. Those two words, pronounced by Hashem Yisborach to Moshe Rabbeinu, telling him to gather all of Klal Yisrael together. Nema B'Hakel. The Chaim HaKodesh says, what does it mean it was Nema B'Hakel? Every time Moshe Rabbeinu said a shir, he got together all of Klal Yisrael. What were they doing in the Midbar? All of Klal Yisrael came to hear every word that Moshe Rabbeinu had to say. And they heard it each one 4 times, as the Gemara said in Eruvin. So what's the Chiddush? Daber Kol Adas B'nei Yisrael. Says Chaim HaKodesh, because Hakel means Anoshim, Noshim, Etaf. Hakel means this is an important subject. It's a subject which has to be taught. Not just to the men. It has to be taught together with the ladies and even the Taf, who don't understand much what's going on. But they remember this wonderful Maimad. And we heard the word Kedusha so much. They penetrated. And I understand that this morning's gathering is an extension of the gathering in City Field. It's not a replacement, it's an extension. We feel that every neighborhood have to feel part of Klal Yisrael. And if we didn't get a chance seeing this wonderful vision in front of our eyes, we should never forget that. You can close your eyes and see the thousands of people who presented themselves at City Field. And yes, here, they are all here together with you. And we're listening. Kedoshim Tiyu. There's a lot of Gekasha. Kedoshim Tiyu, is that the way out to a command? If the Rebbeinu Shalom was commanding us to be holy, he should say Kedoshim Yiyu. Kedoshim Tiyu sounds like a promise. You will be holy. And the Medrash mentions that. The Medrash have an art in the place. The Medrash says, Hahu Dichsiv Yishlach Ezrecha Mikodesh. The Medrash, wanting to explain Kedoshim Tiyu, says, Kedoshim Tiyu? Hahu Dichsiv, that's what it says in Tehillim, Yishlach Ezrecha Mikodesh. Which does make things more simple, but the Mefarshim around give a very interesting shot. The Medrash is coming to tell us, wants to answer this question. Why is Kedoshim Tiyu presented in such a way as a promise and not as a command? Because Hashem Yisborach wants us to know that all we have to do is want to be holy. And then everything else you can lead to Hashem Yisborach. Yishlach Ezrecho Mikodesh. The Rebbeinu Shalom, when it comes to Kedusha, knows everyone's difficulties. He just needs to know that you want, you understand, and then he promises you, Kedoshim Tiyu, you will become holy. Don't give up. Don't say it's impossible. And yes, when you're contemplating whether you should be holy or not, you should not be holy, you have to know that the Hashem Yisborach promised you, Kedoshim Tiyu, you will be holy. I think if we think a little bit deeper into our reactions, our feelings, on that great evening, and our reactions, yes, and even when we were talking about it, and even when we were criticizing, what were we feeling? You will realize that the Rebbeinu Shalom was already fulfilling his promise of Kedoshim Tiyu. The Rambam says, the famous Rambam, where he speaks about where there is a halacha, certain situations, where a person has to give a get, and if he doesn't want to, you can force him to give the get. Force him. You hit the person until he says, yes, I want to. Says the Rambam, and when he says, yes, I want to, it's not called forced. When he says, yes, I want to, he wants. Says the Rambam, why? שאין אוימרים אונוס אלא למי שנלחץ ונדחק לעשות דבר שאין מחייב לו מן התורה. You can force a person to sell an object. And you can say, I don't want to, and you can threaten him, and you can hit him, till at the end he gives in and he says, right, I'll sell it. And that's not called selling. He was forced. But that is because there's no mitzvah in the Torah to sell. Says the Rambam, but if it's a mitzvah in the Torah to sell, you have to know that every Yid wants to do the Ratzon Hashem. And if it's a mitzvah, he wants to do the mitzvah. Raitza ani. He has the Yetzer Hara, he has circumstances, he has litzonim around him, he has different things to prevent him from doing what he really wants to do. So all we do is we take away the external disturbances that stop him from allowing his rotzen to come out. And when he says, yes, I want, he's relieved. Because that's what he really wants. That's the psychology of Yid, says the Rambam. לפיכך זה שאומר רויצה לגרש מאחר שהוא רויצה ליועס מישראל, he wants to be Yid, then רויצה הוא לעשות כל המצוות או לצרחק מן העבירות. He really wants to do all the mitzvahs and to distance himself from any עבירות. The Yitzra who should talk for him. The Yitzra get a hold of him in one way or another. The Chilan Shuhuka at Shetoshas Yitzra. So then he was forced What was he forced? His Yetzer Hara was forced out of him. His Yetzer Hara became weaker. Once a Yid says Roitz Ani on a mitzvah of Hashem, then he means it with all his heart. That's the Metzius of a Yid. That's Ta'al Kedusha. Gettlichkeit. We're all Gettlicher Menschen. And the Gettlichkeit comes out whenever we are helped to leave behind the other cheshbonos of the Yetzer Hara. Then immediately the Rotzen comes out, Roitzani. I felt immediately, it came to me as a surprise. It's not something that I was expecting. But after the Asifa, one felt the whole Kehillah, the thousands and thousands of Yidden, they were as if they were shouting Roitzani. One saw there was a Roitzani. And everyone was looking for an Eitzah. We have to hold on to this consciousness of the Roitzani that lies within each one of us. And allow us to express ourselves, to ignore the cynics, and yes, say to each other, that's the Koyach HaRabim, because there are so many people, and everybody wants the same thing. Roitzani! And you've heard here a wonderful Hadracha from your Rabbonim. The Eibush is like helping to give you the Koyach to fear us, to give you the koyach to actually carry out what the Rabbonim here have told you they think are the basics. And Be'ez Hashem is born from the basics, we go further and further. Kedoshim Tiyu, we have been promised to Kedoshim Tiyu. We want to be Kedoshim, the Rebbe is going to have us to be Kedoshim.